that surround it. And there's this thought that we are really focused on delivering those winning digital experiences. And having worked, with quite a number of professional service firms over a number of years, and particularly over the last couple of years when we've seen significant change, those firms have been working incredibly hard to change the way they interact with their prospects in particular, but also their customers, to sometimes take what has been traditionally a very offline personal relationship and find different ways, digital ways of interacting with those audiences. This is a real challenge to get that right and to understand how we can target those different audiences and create the right experience for them, and how we can then wrap around that the right content marketing and other marketing cues to take that customer from wherever they might sit in the customer journey to the point that we're helping them migrate to. So a real challenge there. And if we take that as a thought and as a challenge to be unlocked, it'd be great to get your perspectives on that, Anisha and Patrick. So, from your perspective in the organizations that you represent, but also the wider market that you sit within, what are the potential blockers that you see for finance and professional service brands and their digital transformation journey? And particularly, I guess, when you're integrating new technologies. With this one, if I might come to you first, Anisha, it'd be great to get your reaction and perspective.
Sure. I think I'm in a very unique position at Klarna because we aren't your typical financial institution. And it's something we really focus on is our engaging brand. I think one of the blockers in this area is it's got such a history, financial institutions, and there's a lack of trust. Let's just call a spade a spade. There is, and that's due to the changes that have happened over many, many years. And when these institutions bring in this sort of digital transformation, obviously it's very relevant. They're trying to gain more consumers, but fundamentally, are you gaining trust? Are you building that? Is that something that it resonates with consumers? There's three kind of key pillars to the branding that we have at Klarna, and that is the engaging brand, our concept of ubiquity, so being where the consumer is basically, and superior product. And I do think it comes back to what is it that you're offering? What is the product? Your marketing is only going to be as good as what you're marketing. And I think from a brand perspective, that can be quite challenging. We did a study, I think it was a couple of years ago now, 2019. 71% of millennials would rather go to the dentist than go to their bank and have a conversation with their bank. That's what we're up against. That's what we're trying to dispel the myth of. And I do think that is a blocker because you're almost damned if you do and damned if you don't. But I do think there is a concept behind this building trust and having the right product suite that consumers are after. Obviously, you have your traditional sort of standard finance products, but with Klarna, we're obviously doing something very different, and we've packaged it up in a very, very different way. When we came to be, we were in a sea of blue logos and very traditional banking, and now you can't escape from the millennial pink, as we call it. And it's something as simple as just rebranding ourselves differently. I think the pushback we get from other financial institutions is, well, you don't know what you're talking about, you're just the pink brand. But actually what we found is with our target audiences, which we do skew heavily with millennials and Gen Zs, they do really trust the different way of doing things and the kind of very straightforward way that we package everything up and we position everything, including the marketing. So I think there is some truth to that when you approach these digital transformations, to be upfront and be honest. But I appreciate at the same time you're up against a 100-year institution, particularly in the UK, that you're trying to treat differently. So that's what I would say is probably a very basic blocker, really.